Hello everybody, this is Wolfgang von Latman with chaliceofimmortality.com, and here in this wonderful, magnificent, magical, mystical video today, I'm going to be talking about criticism and just some of my thoughts on criticism. Okay, general discussion on how to take criticism. So first and foremost, criticism can be a powerful tool to help you better yourself. Particularly constructive criticism from people who are achieving great results in their own life, and they're giving you some honest feedback on how you can improve yourself. This can be powerful because they have achieved great results and they know what it takes to achieve great results, and because you can see that they have achieved great results, only a sensible person would want to know, like, hey, how did you achieve those great results? They have experience. They should know what they're talking about. Somebody who is very, very healthy, who has reversed diseases in their lifetime, somebody like me, I guess, I would say, who have a variety of great things going on in their life, they should know what it takes to create that because they've created it themselves. Or somebody who has a very successful YouTube channel. Their advice and criticism, more so advice rather than criticism, their advice on how you can improve and them pointing out like what you should probably tweak or mess around with, what you should improve on, their advice should be very valuable because they know what they're talking about. However, people who have no visible results, who are nitpicking or, talking about things that you just really don't resonate with, or things you don't really feel need to improve on, things that just don't seem to matter, or people that are just super insignificant to you, that have no relevance to your life, especially, people who just don't seem to have their own, your best interest in their mind or in their intentions. You probably shouldn't care about what they think, all right? So, once again, the type of criticism that's great that you should pay attention to is, people who are achieving great results. But also, people like your mother and your father, or your best friends who have been with you for a long time and they know how you are and they actually care about you. You should consider their opinions only because they care about you, because they actually have your best interests in mind. They are some of the very rare people in life who are actually caring about you, okay? Because with criticism, there's people who genuinely care about your results, and then there's people who, they just want to give you some advice because they've been there and they know what they're talking about. And then there's people who are giving you advice not because they have your best interests in mind, but because they're selfish and they are projecting their own selfish intentions onto you. People who, let's say they don't really have any success going for them. They're just bitter and they're just stressed out, or they're jealous of your results. They're envious. They're going to come at you with some nonsense like, maybe you should stop working so hard, or maybe you should, talk less, you talk too much, or maybe you should stop cussing, or whatever it is. Maybe you should be more friendly. Maybe you should, try this new supplement I've done, or whatever it is. A lot of times this is just their own self-disappointment, their own disappointment with their own lack of results, and they're projecting that onto you. 9 times out of 10, that's what it is. Other times, people will criticize you to try to help make themselves feel more comfortable about their own lack of results. Excuses, for example, like when people comment on an athlete's videos or something and claim that they're on steroids and they couldn't do it without steroids. Like, look, maybe they are on steroids, but why do you care so much that you're going to comment on it and point that out? If you really cared so much about athletic results, you'd be so busy getting your own results in life that you wouldn't really want to distract yourself with little nitpicking comments like that on some person's video who you don't even approve of. Like, really stop and think about why would somebody watch videos or pay attention to somebody that they don't even like, and then spend the time and energy, the little second or whatever it is valuable out of their life to comment on that shit, and even though that they don't like it or they have a problem with it, like, why? It's a distraction. It's to keep them feeling like they're doing everything right, despite the fact that it's very, very clear they're distracted. They want to feel like they're doing everything right, so they point out what you're doing wrong, because it's relativity. It's like Einstein's theory of relativity. We only know ourselves relative to the things around us. It's all relative. If you don't know what relativity is, you should look that up. Relation and relation to. So I only know that I'm good because you're bad. And I only know that you're bad because I'm good. So whenever you point out, oh, that person, like, look at them, they're so fat and they're ugly, or something dumb like that, it makes you feel like, oh, they're dumb and fat or whatever, and I'm smart and thin or whatever. Which is really shallow and retarded to really, but that's the immaturity of most people. It's a game of relativity. And that's why there's so much criticism, and you're pointing the finger at everyone else, even though there's 4 fingers pointing right back at you. Like, oh, look at that person, he's this or he's that. It's like you're constantly trying to distract yourself from yourself, instead of looking inward and thinking like, oh, like, what do I need to be achieving, this and that. You're spending time distracted by someone else. The fact of the matter is, and this is the truest thing here, whatever you focus on, you care about. And no one wants to admit this, but if you're talking about somebody, no matter like how much time it takes for you to write a comment or to to speak some words to somebody or whatever, it may only take a minute or 2 out of your life. But the point is, at this moment, you care. Because if you didn't care, you wouldn't even, like, bother. Okay? You just be like, oh, I don't care. And you wouldn't take action. Alright? If you're taking action towards anything, writing a comment, uploading a video, anything like that, that means you care. For whatever reason. So, I mean, understanding this, you can have a better, more realistic understanding of critics, haters, or whatever it is, and why exactly they're doing it. And it should make you feel a little bit better. Now here's the reason why I'm trying to bring understanding behind this. It's because just like critics, okay, they're distracting themselves from achieving success. But if you start to play their game and start to, start to react to the critics. If you, let's say they say, oh, your videos are shit or something, or you don't know what you're talking about, or you're not really achieving anything in life. If they say that, okay, you should immediately look at the reality behind it. Well, let's see. Have I been making progress in the gym? Have I been making progress with my videos? Have I been making progress? Is what I'm doing working? Because if you've been seeing results, okay, and remember, it's small steps that stack up over time. If you're getting 1 new subscriber every day, after a year, that's going to be, what, 356 subscribers. That's results there. All right? If you're getting results, then you shouldn't really care too much about critics. Unless, of course, it's something substantial and the results you're getting aren't that great. But if there are people who just seem to be like nitpicking and, there seems to be bitter energy or something behind that, they're not trying to help you. They're just like, trying to help themselves get over the pain of failure. So, as long as you react to the critics in that situation, you're distracting yourself. You're distracting yourself. You're spending time and a lot of energy. Usually it's energy. Like, you may not be trying to argue with them or something, but if you find yourself thinking about these critics, especially multiple times throughout the day, like, you really need to learn how to deal with it. That's distracting you. That's taking energy from you. You know, when you start to see the energy behind things, you start to realize what you focus on really does matter. It really does, okay? How can you expect to enjoy your time on Earth in periods of time where you're thinking about, like, oh, this person said this about me, or like blah blah blah, you know, do I really suck or whatever? You're not going to feel so great. It's distracting you. It's taking energy from you, and they are distractions. I saw a picture recently, which I posted up on the Chalice of Immortality Facebook. I posted up there. It says something like, if you stop, okay, like on the path to greatness, if you stop and throw a rock at every dog that barks at you, you're never going to make it. You know, you're walking along the sidewalk, you know, on your way to success, and dogs bark at you from behind the fence. You know, and if you stop and you're like, you pick up a rock and you throw it, like, oh, shut up, dog, shut up. I mean, you know, like, fuck, maybe you'll knock the dog out, but you're going to continue to find barking dogs. They're going to continue to exist. It really doesn't matter how many dogs you try to knock out. You're just wasting time. It's spending a lot of time and energy trying to knock these dogs out, you know, throwing the rocks at the dog. How do you expect to ever reach greatness? It's just not going to happen. You know, and that's something that I have to keep experiencing over and over again, is that, you know, there's just crazy people out there, and like, you know, I really want to try to help them kind of, you know, get a better understanding of things, but, you know, the fact is there's just people think differently, you know, and there's millions and millions of people who think differently than you. There's millions of people who are going to criticize you, millions of people who are going to hate on you. And there's nothing you can say to make them think otherwise. So, I mean, if you're going to continue to see people like this, and there's nothing you can do to change their opinion, I mean, really, like, what are you going to achieve by arguing with them, by caring about what they think? It's not going to help you. And if you change your approach to life, or your methods or whatever, to try to make everybody happy, critics or whatever, you're never going to get anywhere either, because one critic's going to say, oh, you talk too much or something, and then you're going to stop talking so much. And then the people that loved you for talking so much are going to be like, what the fuck? Like, you're not the same person that I fell in love with. And then you're going to be like, oh shit, I better be that person. And the other people like, oh, you're talking too much again. It's like, come on, man, just be yourself. Do what you want to do. Right? Continue like riding the wave of what you want, and just enjoy the success from that. All right? Because you have to pick. You have to choose no matter what. You can't just keep like listening to the critics and shit. It's going to guide you, boom, bouncing back and forth between different ways of being. You know, everyone has a natural gift. Just continue on with that gift. And critics, you know, when you want to achieve something great in life, you're going to have critics. And this is a fact. I notice, like, you know, as I go along with this YouTube thing, I get more and more comments here and there. But when I make a video and it's really effective at catching people's attention, yeah, I get the most critics on those videos. But, you know, it only grows. It only grows. The more known you are, the more people love you, and the more people hate you. And you want to be that person. You want to be so effective at what you do that you have people who love you, and then you have people who are just like opposed to you. All right? That's just how it is. There's billions of people in the world. Half of them are going to like you, and half of them are going to hate you. The more people that know about you, you know, you get half and half. Well, usually you get more people that like you, all right, and you get some people that hate you. Usually it's more people that like you. But if you have a bunch of haters and stuff, I mean, the fact is, look at them. Like, that's sad and pathetic. The reason why is because they're so focused on you that they're not really achieving much in themselves. It really does take energy. That's just how it is. So it's very, very important to think about these things. And, just keep in mind, the people you want to hang out with, the people you want to be around, the people that you want to consider and care about are the people that actually are giving you advice with good intentions, all right? People who have actually achieved something, all right? Because I've had friends who, I see like, wow, like they keep talking about all the shit they want to do, but they're not achieving any of it. And I continuously tell them like, hey man, like if you want to achieve this, this is what you got to do. And they just kind of like act as if I'm hating on them. See, that's unhealthy. That's different. That's not like, oh, a critic or a hater. It can be, but if you really know somebody, and especially if they're trying to achieve something that you've already achieved, and they just brush off your advice, that's not even the same thing. That's like, okay, you need to let them fail. And if they never achieve something, there's nothing you could have ever done to save them. All right? So, anyway, so this is just a general discussion about criticism and haters and all that shit, and advice and whatnot. So, I really hope that this helps shed some light understanding. If you like this video, let me know. Let me know what you think about all this. Let me know what your thoughts are. Whatever feedback you have, I'd love to hear it. Thank you. Post your questions and comments down below. Check out chaliceofimmortality.com for more amazing stuff like this. And I'll talk to you soon.